Have you ever left a room feeling smaller than when you walked in? Like something subtle just chipped away at you? A comment, a glance, a joke that was not really a joke? This is not about hate. It is about self-respect. And if you have been biting your tongue, walking on eggshells, or convincing yourself it's not that bad, this is your wake-up call. Right now, there is a quiet crisis happening. It is not loud, it is not violent, but it is relentless. Men are being disrespected in ways so subtle they barely register out loud, but they leave a bruise on the inside. The worst part? Most men say nothing. Not because they are weak, but because they have been taught to just take it. Be chill. Do not overreact. Be the bigger person. So you shrug it off, you laugh it off, you brush it off, until one day you do not even recognize yourself. And here is the truth. Every time you tolerate disrespect, you teach people how to treat you, and you teach yourself that your feelings do not matter. This is not about being sensitive. It is about having a spine and knowing where to draw the line. Right now, we are drawing that line. We are walking through 8 behaviors no man should ever ignore, ever excuse, or ever tolerate again, not because you are trying to dominate anyone, but because you are finally ready to stop being dominated by silence. We will break down the subtle insults, the passive aggression, the mental games, and by the end of this video, you will not just see these behaviors clearly, you will finally understand why they feel so heavy, even when they look harmless. If you are ready to stop explaining away disrespect, if you are tired of just taking it on the chin, then stick with me. This is not about revenge. It is about reclaiming your respect. Let us dive in. And hey, if this already feels like something you have needed to hear, just tap that like button real quick. And if you want more content that actually speaks to what you are going through, go ahead and subscribe. We are just getting started. Let's start with the stuff that looks small on the surface, but builds the foundation for everything else. The kind of disrespect that doesn't leave bruises, but leaves you questioning yourself. One, public disrespect. You're with friends. Someone drops a jab at your expense. The kind of joke that gets a laugh from the room but cuts into you just enough to sting. You smile. You take it, because calling it out feels worse than staying quiet. But here's the truth. Every time you let someone laugh at you, you're teaching them it's okay. And you're teaching yourself that you don't matter in the room. Disrespect in front of others isn't random. It's a power play, a test. And if they know you'll stay quiet when it's public, they'll keep pushing until your silence becomes permission. 2, weaponized silence. This one's harder to spot because it looks like space, but it's not. It's punishment. You say something they don't like, set a boundary, ask for something, and suddenly, nothing. No texts, no calls, no eye contact. You've been iced out. This isn't a break. It's control. It's the emotional version of holding your breath until you get your way. And if you're constantly trying to fix things just to get someone to talk to you again, that's not peace. That's submission. 3, backhanded praise. This one hits in quiet moments. You've been working out? Good for you. Finally. I didn't expect you to pull that off, but hey, you proved me wrong. You're surprisingly good at that. On the surface, it sounds like support, but underneath, it's undermining. It's a compliment with a knife in it. And the worst part is, you can't even explain why it feels wrong. That's the trap. You start thinking you're crazy. You overanalyze. You become hyper-aware of every sentence. And when someone can make you doubt your own perception, they've already taken the upper hand. These 3 behaviors seem unrelated, but together they form a pattern. Public disrespect erodes your identity. Weaponized silence makes you chase validation. Backhanded praise rewires your confidence. It's not just about what's being said. It's about what it's doing to your sense of self. And that's the setup. Because the next ones, they don't just mess with your head, they start to take over your life. Here's where things go from confusing to controlling. If the first 3 behaviors chipped at your confidence, these next ones start reshaping how you live, what you say, even what you believe about yourself. 4, emotional whiplash. One day they're warm, affectionate, present. The next, cold, withdrawn, dismissive. You rack your brain. What did I do? Did I say the wrong thing? This constant flipping forces you into survival mode. You stop being yourself, and you start walking on eggshells, trying to manage someone else's mood like your life depends on it, because it starts to feel like it does. Number 5, shaming ambition. This one's sneaky. It sounds like teasing, but it's not harmless. Oh wow, you're starting another project? Still chasing that little dream, huh? You really think that's gonna work out? They roll their eyes. Make jokes. Talk down to your goals like they're fantasies. But this isn't about your dream. It's about your drive. They're not laughing at what you're doing. They're trying to dull the part of you that wants more. Because ambition makes insecure people uncomfortable. And if they can make you shrink your goals, they can feel bigger without having to grow themselves. 6, overstepping boundaries. It starts small. They ask who you were texting. They want your passwords. They just happen to check your phone. They call it love. They say it's care, but it's not. It's control wrapped in concern. It's the guilt trip when you set a boundary. It's the accusation when you need space. It's the expectation that access to you is unlimited. Your time, your phone, your energy. Real love doesn't require surveillance. It doesn't interrogate trust. When someone doesn't respect your limits, they don't really see you. They see a version of you they want to possess. By now, you've probably seen it. This stuff isn't random. It builds. What starts as a joke turns into emotional chaos, then slowly becomes a cage. These behaviors aren't isolated. They compound. They exhaust you, confuse you, make you second-guess your gut until your gut goes silent. But there's good news. Once you can see it, you can start choosing different. Because the final 2 behaviors, they're the most corrosive of all, and calling them out might be the exact shift you've been needing. We've talked about the subtle digs, the silence, the guilt-wrapped control. But the final 2 behaviors, they're the ones that linger the longest. Because they don't just hurt your confidence, they distort your identity. 7, lack of accountability. Ever dealt with someone who never says sorry? Every issue somehow circles back to you. You bring up how something made you feel, and suddenly you're the one overreacting. You're the problem. They twist it, deny it, or worse, flip it on you. What you're dealing with here isn't stubbornness. It's emotional manipulation. When someone refuses to own their actions, they leave you holding the blame every single time. And over time, you start to wonder, am I actually crazy? Am I the difficult one? That's the trap. Because once you take responsibility for their behavior, you've already lost yourself in the process. 8, comparisons to other men. This one is quiet, but it cuts deep. You should be more like him. He actually listens to her. Why can't you be that confident? They don't scream it. They slip it in during conversations, moments when you're already vulnerable. And what they're doing is rewriting your worth. They're making you feel like a project, a disappointment, a version of a man who's not quite enough. This isn't about improvement. It's about control through comparison. And if you hear it long enough, you start measuring yourself by someone else's blueprint instead of your own growth. So let's zoom out. These 8 behaviors, they aren't always loud. They're not always obvious, but they work together like pressure applied one drop at a time. Until one day, the version of you that could speak up goes silent. But here's the truth. Tolerating disrespect doesn't make you strong. It makes you disappear. And the only way back is by drawing your line. So here's what to do next. 1. Rewatch the 8 behaviors and name the ones you've seen in your life. Clarity is power. 2. Pick one moment where you stayed silent and write out what you wish you'd said. Not for them, for you. 3. Set a rule today. If it costs you your peace, your confidence, or your self-respect, it's too expensive. Walk away. You don't need to shout. You don't need to fight. You just need to stop tolerating. So, how many of these have you seen firsthand? What did you do about it? Drop your story in the comments. Someone else might need to hear it. And if you want more tools to protect your energy, build real confidence, and finally stop watering yourself down, hit like, subscribe, and let's keep building the strongest version of you, one boundary at a time. We are not done here.